defeat. They're disgusted. They're mean. And when they fail, they get angry and bitter and mad. They begin to cuss under their breath. You know why? Because they don't acknowledge God in all their ways. Everything, they're so stinking proud. I'm talking about people who claim to be Christians in the church. They're so stinking proud. They don't acknowledge God. They fail all the time. You know why? Because they don't acknowledge God. They don't respect God. They don't pray to God. They don't start their day with God. They don't ask him about anything. Listen to me. Every project, everything that you believe God wants you to do, you need to bathe that thing in prayer. I don't care how easy you think it might be. You need to pray if you are a child of God. You need to pray about it. And then what happens is when they fail, they mess up, the thing is not fixed permanently, the problem is not solved, then they want to lie and be dishonest and be deceitful, and they want to blame somebody else and all this other foolishness that goes along with it. They're not honest. Then they want to go into a pity party, and they want you to feel sorry for them. But the problem is they have no belief in God. You know why God blessed David? Not because he was perfect, not because he was the biggest, not because he was the strongest, not because he was the oldest. God blessed David because David acknowledged God in all his ways. David prayed to God about everything. David then gave God the glory, the praise, and the honor for the victory that God won for him. And so David flourished. And we have Christians today who love to read David, but they don't flourish. They don't flourish like David. They don't flow like David. Why? Because they don't acknowledge God in all their ways. Why? Because they don't pray about everything. Whatever crisis comes, they don't pray about it. They think with their little bold forehead, they can go ahead and push through and get it done. And then when it's all messed up and frustrated, and it's all messed up and they're frustrated, they want to get mad at other people. Bitter, got their head down, defeated, disgusted, envious of other people. When God could have given them, God would have given them the victory if they would only acknowledge him. And then when they get it done and they get the victory, that they would give him the glory instead of trying to steal the glory themselves. We need to read the life of David from the Bible. And walk by faith like David. It was not because David was the most educated. He was not. He was not. He didn't have the education of Moses. But he is a key figure in the Bible, in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, because he had faith in God. And he acknowledged God in all of his ways. And he prayed to God before he did stuff. I cannot emphasize that enough, you people who don't pray to God before you do stuff. I don't care if you're putting together a lamp or a chair or a desk. You need to pray to God and ask God to help you to do that, to do it decently and in order. Pray about everything. Acknowledge God in all your ways, and God will direct your paths. Okay? All right. Trying to help you. Otherwise, you're going to continue to live a sad, miserable, failed life. Defeated and disgusted and downcast. You're going to wonder why God blessed him, because he believed in God and he trusted God and he prayed to God. And then we have these people, they can do anything, so they don't even pray. And the reason why they think like that is because they have never had the experience of praying to God and believing in God to help them do something. My life's verse is Zechariah 4:6. It is not by power, it's not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. If God does not get it, if God does not move, if God does not bless you to do stuff and fight your battles for you and with you, you're not going to win, baby. And I'm all about winning. I was talking with somebody the other day. See, everybody talks about how so-and-so played the football game and so how many yards he passed for, how many touchdowns he passed for, and all that. But I like what Dak Prescott said one time. I'd rather have the win instead of the stats. And some people may not like the founder and the owner of the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. I think his name is Al, Big Al. He didn't want to hear all of that. He didn't care nothing about all of that. He said, just win, baby. Life is not worth living if you're not going to win. I'm serious, man. And you can win through God and through Christ. But you got to acknowledge God. For he is the divine coach, and he will direct your ways to win. Stop trying to do stuff. Stop trying to do your day. Stop trying to do life. I don't care how much money you have, how much beauty you have, how much education you have. Without God, you're going to lose. You're going to fail. Through Christ, you can do all things, my dear friend. And even football players and basketball players know that. Those who have the sense to give God the glory, to ask God to help them to do exploits on the field and on the court. And then when God does that, they give him the glory by pointing to him or kneeling down and saying thank you in front of millions of people. With that, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Alexander McLaren said in the religious life, it is possible to commit the error of prizing peaceful hours of communion as to waive imperative duty for the sake of them. Like Peter with his, let us make here 3 tabernacles, while there were devil-ridden sufferers waiting to be healed down on the plain. Moments of devotion which do not prepare for hours of practice